Hey guys, I'm gonna do something just a bit different today while Dan's on his holiday. We're gonna do a little bit of a video, not review, but more of an impression, the pros and cons of Thief on the Xbox One. This big heaping pile of shit. Nah, it's not that bad. But I'll tell you the pros and cons and my overall impressions of the game. And should you buy it or not? I was hoping, well, I was really looking forward to the game. I was hoping it would give me that single player experience that I look for in the single player games that will get me involved in the plot, that I will care for the characters, that I want to see what happens to them. I want to read all the documents, I want to collect all the collectibles, all that kind of stuff you would do in, like, say, I'm just gonna say, like, Skyrim. You know, you go around reading all the books and you just get so involved in the world. I didn't really get that experience from Thief. It looks really good. It's not next gen. It doesn't look like Crisis or not Crisis. It doesn't look like Rise, um, or Killzone. It pretty much looks the same as the previous gen on the 360 and the PS3. Yeah, there's a lot of detail in the smaller rooms. Like you'll go to a mansion, right, and you have to steal this gem or whatever. You'll go into some room, like a bedroom, and there'll be a lot of really intricate detail in some of the carpets, some of the woodwork, and the kind of the bricks. The character models, they are not great. It's clearly held back by the last gen. That's kind of one of the biggest drawbacks I had with the game was the kind of the character models and the lip syncing. It just felt painful to watch. Like I kind of was just like, ugh. Um, the characters themselves I'll get into a little bit later on, like, but just the models themselves, they're just generic. Like some of the enemies as well. You get into the plot and you get to this kind of a insane asylum, and you see these kind of at first interesting characters. They're creatures. They're not human, but they turn out to just be these kind of generic looking ghouls, whatever you want to call them. Like, the game takes place in a kind of an alternate universe, but it's like a industrial England, if that's what you want to call it. It does that well. You can see with the cityscape, it does look like it would be in that from that era. All the smoke and all the fog kind of gives that a really industrial setting. But that's it. When you get to the ground level, when you get to on the streets, there's virtually no other people other than guards and then some NCPs scattered through. There's some like dying hobos like in a corner from the disease that's kind of corrupting the population called the gloom, I think. Yeah. So the Xbox One and the PS4 versions are clearly being held back by the previous limitations, the previous generation limitations. If you have an Xbox One and an Xbox 360 and you want to get the game and you really want to get the game, don't bother with the extra $10 or $15 or euro or pound or whatever. Just get the previous one or don't get it at all. The sound as well. I just want to fucking mention the sound is just absolutely atrocious. I don't know what was going on with it. Like I got to a point where I was in I think it was like the second chapter or something, and it said there was a kind of a major plot point kind of being brought up by one of the main baddies. He looks kind of cool actually. He has a big mustache. Um, but the score in the background, the music was just like na na na, and he was there like yeah yeah how's it going yeah that's deadly yeah yeah yeah, and the music was so loud and I couldn't hear anything. So then obviously I had to turn the subtitles on. But it was just like what like this shouldn't be like for a single player experience. For me, sound is key. I want to be drawn into that single player experience, and the sound doesn't do it any help in this fucking in this department anyway. The looks and the presentation of the whole thing, but where they do get the game right though, and where they get it really right, is the stealth. It is fun and it is rewarding. There's a swoop action. You hold down the A button and you literally just glide across the ground, to get from one point of cover to the other, or one point of darkness to the other. Like I know it's strange saying that the Thief game does the stealth really well. Like it should. It's a Thief. It's Thief. It's a stealth game. And it does a good job of forcing you to go stealthy. mainly because the combat is so shit. Like it will reward you by saying like do this stealthy. There's multiple ways you can do this. Just don't fucking get caught because it's shit when you get caught. Um, yeah, there's multiple paths in each chapter. They'll all lead to the same ending. Like you'll get the very same ending. Like you'll find the same loot, the main loot by each path you take, but you'll find different loots along the way. But I didn't really. I took one route and I felt no need to go back and do it the other way because the loot wasn't all that great. Mostly it's just fucking knives, forks, dinner plates, and teacups. Like the main loot is the one you want. Like really, let's be honest here. Yeah. So there's no inventory cap, which is good because you literally want to just kind of take everything. Everything that glows, you just pick up and you just kind of fuck it behind you and go, yeah, that's two gold pieces that I've just added to my bank. That's really it. So yeah, like it's there's like literally the main loot is jewelry, and then like the other loot, the majority of the loot you'll come across in this universe is cutlery and knives and letter openers, uh, lots of teapots and teacups. Yeah. Yeah, the combat is just it's no bam, dodge, bam, dodge, bam. If there's two enemies after you, you're fucked. It's like it is difficult. I had a hard time. Like I think I bested two before, but like really by the skin of my teeth. Like so, it comes back to the stealth. You want to kind of stick to the stealth, and it kind of even benefits if you put it on the hardest difficulty that they will spot you. Like they are unforgiving. I've never felt in a position where I'm like, he should have seen me. He should have seen me. If I'm in a shit cover, if I'm like hiding behind like a fucking piece of grass in any other game, like say Metal Gear, one of the old ones, and he walks right by me, and I'm like, what a fucking idiot. In this, it's literally they will spot you if given the chance. They will spot you. You also have to be spatial aware. You'll see like some broken glass on the floor. If you walk over, obviously it's gonna crunch, and enemies will be alerted. Also, there's water as well. That's another kind of hazard. And there's birds and dogs. They'll also be alerted to your presence, and then obviously they'll alert the guards. So it's really up to yourself and how you take the approach. Um, the water arrows I've used most. Really, kind of only the weapons I used, and it's not really a weapon. If I did have to take out a guard, I would do the twist your neck, the silent takedown. But to get to another area, and I had to get past two or three guards, water arrow fucking there, water arrow fucking there. Because if I used anything other, more lethal, it would just attract too much attention, and then it would almost always lead to more combat, and I would just fucking hate it. So I was just like, ugh, I'm gonna fuck off. Yeah, this is kind of all the gameplay section, just kind of going down. I have like a little list of all the points I want to bring up. The map is utter shit. I cannot express my hatred for this map. I was sitting here one night playing it, and I just felt like jumping through my window. The map was fucking infuriating. Like it looks relatively simple enough on your fucking on your HUD, and you're like, yeah, I need to go to fucking there. To get there, you need to go through like two loading screens. I don't know how many fucking like little guard blockades. It is irritating as shit. Like the map, something so simple just got completely fucked up there. Um, the loading is just like the map is not big at all, but it's kind of split into like two or three different sections, and to get to the other sections, say if you had to go to the top, you'd have to go kind of on the top level and pass through like a window that would like a window into a room, someone's house, and then out the other window to the next section of the map. But there would be like a loading screen there, and then a loading screen again. Like it's the loading screens are just fucking ridiculous. I completely hate that. And ledges as well. Like not all ledges It's like it's really weird. Like there's ledges that you can look down over, and you'll say A, and you'll drop down. Others you'll feel like you can be able to do it. You're like, I'm a master thief. I can surely jump down this ledge. The game's just like, no. What are you talking about? Like you're not able to jump down that ledge. um, as for performance, it runs smooth. Like yeah, it does run smooth. There's no issue there for me. I was on the Xbox One, so there was no issue there. Load screens again. That was just like I kind of put down the performance because I was just so pissed off with it. It's like they were just so shit. Like, and I did get a few pop-ins, like some texture. Took a bit more time to load. Um, so kind of onto the meat and bones, the story. It is a single player game. What did the story do for me? Nothing. It was boring. Boring characters, completely forgettable characters. The main character, Garrett, was a fucking dickhead. He was so irritating. The only kind of cool character I kind of enjoyed, Erin, and only in the very first mission, the like the prologue, she was kind of cool. She seemed like this kind of this rebel youth who didn't really know what she was doing, but like without kind of giving any spoiler, like she kind of dies. No, she doesn't die. No, she kind of just fucks off for a bit. Um, yeah, like you'll get the main story missions, and you'll love some of the locations. You'll go to an insane asylum. That kind of reminded me of Shutter Island because it's on its own little island. Yeah, that's a really really good area. It's really creepy. Like there's really no stealth in it in the main story. Like I found myself kind of just wandering, like where it told me to go there. I just wandered, and there wasn't that many enemies in most of the story missions. But the insane asylum was one that I didn't really mind that because it was really creepy. There was always noises, and there was always doors opening. There was always this kind of those these weird little characters that would kind of pop in 1 second, and you turn around, they're gone again. You know, that kind of the cheap jump scare tactics that you see in all those fucking the new horror movies and all. And mannequins. There's a mannequin scene. I remember Condemned did a really good mannequin scene. This one does another mannequin scene. You know, they're sitting down. You turn around, you pick up a document, and they're facing you. You know, it's fun. I liked it. Apart from the main story, you'll you'll get your most enjoyable moments from the client jobs, which are kind of act as the side missions, the side quests, quests, the side quests. There's like Basso, he's one of the other main characters, another dickhead. He gives you I think about 30 of them, but you have these client jobs and you have to go get different things for different people, that kind of stuff. But they are really good, like they're really really good. Um, I was going through a main mission and I was like, I can't wait to fucking finish this mission so I can go and do a couple of good client jobs. Which for a single player game, I have to reiterate myself. For a single player game, you should not be saying that. You should be like, this single player story is great. The side missions are just an added bonus. Um, yeah, with the story mode, like it's just dead end after dead end. You'll be running around the map for like I don't know a couple of minutes, and you'll be like, oh, I'll go down this way. There's clearly a road I can go through here to get to this point. Nope, a fucking barrel of hay. You can't get through there. Go around two loading screens, and you're just like, fuck this. Like, why do I have to do that? I shouldn't have to do that. That's a load of shit. Um, it would have been a lot better if it was more open world, if I could choose to go in, which direction or whatever. But, you know, that's not what I got. Um, yeah, so I kind of broke it down into the pros and cons, just to kind of give you an idea of, like it's what, 55 or 70 euro. Is it worth buying? No, it's not worth buying. Um, I'd say wait. It will go down like to the 30s, 30 euro, no problem. And then I'd say get it. Because although I do have a lot of fucking problems with the game, I did enjoy some parts of it. I did kind of enjoy my time with it sometimes. There's just a lot of things as well that just kind of get away from me. Like the pros, like you'd have, it looks good, has some great details. The stealth is really really good, and I think that's why it's kind of a bit higher on the score in most reviews. I've given it kind of a good score. And it is certainly challenging. And the one thing to note about the challenge is the custom difficulty. You can set it up to, if you get seen, you have to start again. Like that would add more replayability. And with about a 12 to 13 hour um campaign, if you do everything, I mean, like, all the side missions and everything, and there's an achievement to actually go past 15 hours, like you could do that and you can get 15, which is better than most games you get these days. The weapons are fun to use, like the water arrows, and like if you do want to go into the kind of the more aggressive weapons, they are fun. Like the explosive one is fun to use, but it's just like you find yourself using it and then just kind of restarting your checkpoint, and then just playing through it stealthily, like you're supposed to. Um, side quests are just, they're really good. They kind of take the sting away from the shitness of the main story. That's what I'd say about them, and it has really really great areas like the asylum again, and then there's the I think it's the architects. It was the demo of the architect's house. That's really really good. Um, and then there's this kind of chapel you go into, and it's a kind of underground kind of weird thing. It's weird. So yeah, if you can look past all of the last gen restrictions, I'm sure you'll enjoy your time playing this. You'll enjoy your experience with it. But with the amount of new games that are coming out soon, like Timefall next week, I just don't see a point of buying it right now. Like, it's there's a lot of cons, a lot of cons. Like character models are completely crap with the lip syncing as well. They're totally forgettable. Gareth, he like I half the time I was just like, shut the fuck up. I can't deal with him anymore. The map, holy shit, the map. I can't like just forget about the map here for a second. Combat is terrible. But the combat can be seen as, you can't really you can say it's a con, but also you don't really have to do engage in the combat if you just play it stealthily. So I suppose, that's a bit, yeah. Loading screens is a major issue. There shouldn't be loading screens like that on a Xbox One or PS4 title. No, there's no excuse for them like that. It is clearly made for a last gen console. Definitely, it's completely made for a last gen console. Empty streets. There's just not enough engagement with the NPCs. Like you'll walk past someone, and actually, one of the funniest ones is one of the NPCs is talking to his mate or something, and he's talking about how he's bragging about, he's like, oh, I've had sex with Penny, and she's some really famous prostitute or something, and his mate's like, oh, I've been on the waiting list for like 5 months, and he's like, oh well, I've been on the waiting list for 6, and like it'll be it's funny, that would be like, oh, you kind of giggle, and then 2 seconds later, oh, I just came back from Penny, and they just repeat it after over and over again, and you're kind of like, well, it was funny the first time. Let's just stop that. If I had to give the game like a review score, I really, really want to give it a 6. I really do want to give it a 6. But with the great stealth mechanics and the really good side missions and the value for money, I think is a really important aspect in games these days. Like you're spending, well, up to €70, nearly €80 in some cases, and you want to get 10 plus hours minimum, I'd say, with at least a single player game. So I'd probably bump it up to 7, and I'd say that's generous. Yeah, I think that's generous. 6.5, but no, 6.57. It's not like I'm not giving it a. This is my review score. because I don't really see this as a review. But anyway, hopefully it kind of, if there was some of you who were undecided of getting the game or not, hopefully this kind of cleared up a few things that you might have issues with. Maybe I've steered some people away from it. Maybe I've kind of lighted some subjects that you were unsure about and that you thought were cool. So there are my impressions of Thief. Let me know what you thought of the game. So sound off in the comments and make sure you subscribe to our channel because we will be doing a lot more videos in the near future. When Dan comes back from the holidays and that. Yeah, so just make sure you subscribe. Check out all our other videos. We did some cool gameplay footage of the Timefall beta, which is coming out. Well, it's coming out next Tuesday for all you lucky Americans. Then this day next week for us. I think we're doing some Twitch and all. I'll put up a video just kind of explaining everything we're going to be doing because we'll probably be changing things up just a little bit. And Dan's going to be back at the end of the month as well. So, exciting month for everyone. For gamers alike, because, Infamous is coming out too, although we both don't have an Xbox, PS4, so you should have a look. We're not doing that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.